Hello, this is what I currently have of my courgettes and or marrows, as you can see. We've been using lots of them, but what I'm going to be doing is a series of videos showing you recipes on how to use your courgettes up. Today we are making courgette jam, which is very nice and I can highly recommend. This recipe will make 2 jars. These are normal jam jar size, they're pound jars, 454 grams, and they will last a year, at least a year in the cupboard unopened, and once they're opened you can store and use like normal jam. So do let me know if you give this a go, and let's start with what you need. So you will need a kilogram of courgettes. As you can see here, I've got 1 yellow and 1 green. I'm using the yellow because I've had this one a while and it needs using up. It has yellow courgettes, a bit softer, has more of a buttery taste. They're quite nice. Both courgettes are nice. The skin is softer, I would say, slightly on those. So we're going to try one of each and see how that goes. You also need about 400 grams of cooking apples, 2 large ones, but as you can see these aren't so large. I've had them a while, as you can see, but it's only for jam, so they'll be okay. 2 lemons, about 30 grams of ginger, not that much, and a kilogram of sugar. I'm using jam sugar just to make sure it actually sets. Jam sugar's got pectin in it. Okay, first thing we're going to do is peel the courgettes. Just going to chop the ends off. Now the weights I give you are all, actually this one, are all there we go, through the skin. The weights I give you are all pre-preparing weights, so you don't have to worry about weighing it again once you've peeled it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel this, and then I'm going to chop it in half to remove any seeds, and then just chop these up. We are going to cook them down, so they don't need to be grated or anything. I'll come back when this is done. Right, I'm going to show you this one to show not everything goes to plan. The seeds in this are right on the outside, and when I cut them off there's just more seed, so all I'm going to end up with is a very thin core. So I'm going to compost this. The yellow ones, they don't do so well if you let them get too big, so I'm going to get rid of that one, and I'm going to just get, I've obviously got enough courgettes, another lot to make sure I've got the kilo. Okay, I've got a fat one here, so fingers crossed that this one is okay. Oh yes, look, straight away through to normal skin, normal flesh. Just a very thin skin on the yellow courgettes. Okay, now I'm going to cut this in half. and I shall scoop out those seeds. Right, I've done one. All I'm doing is I've got a teaspoon and I'm just scraping through. It's very easy, much easier than a pumpkin. It's nearly pumpkin time. We're saving ours. We've got those little ones which are going to be for eating, and our main pumpkin we will do on the 31st. Now if you have pumpkins, if you're growing pumpkins or you have them for Halloween just bought from the shop or a pick your own pumpkin farm, most people do take out a little bit of the flesh on the inside before carving. It makes it easier for carving. Bless you, Nick. Sorry about that. Yeah, it makes it easier for carving, but that flesh is so delicious. So I will, I love all sorts of pumpkin recipes. So I will make those this year to show you what you can do with your pumpkin. And so look out for those. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop this up and pop it in my jam pan. Just quite roughly. And then I will do the same with the green courgette. Now I'm going to chop, peel and core the apples, and the easiest way I find with apples is to cut them into wedges, take out the core and then peel them like this. You all know how to peel and chop, so I'm not going to make you watch me do this for 3 apples. So you want to chop them quite finely. Okay, and do that for all 3 apples and put that in your pan with the courgettes. Okay, there is the apple and the courgettes in the pan. Now we are going to move on to the ginger, and we need to bruise this with a rolling pin. I'm going to turn the volume down here. Okay, now with one of our lemons, I'm going to choose one with the most unblemished skin. You want to peel off the skin. Try and leave as much of the pith behind as you can. It's the pith that is bitter. So I'm just going to peel one of these. I haven't forgotten my promise to do courgette chutney. It's just that my cooking apples and my lemons needed using up. Right, keep that lemon. Now what we're going to do is take a muslin or a cheesecloth or whatever. This is one I had from Rose as a baby. Put the ginger and the peel in the middle, and then we are going to tie it up. Make sure all the corners are out. It smells absolutely lovely all this lemon and ginger and apple. Pulled too tight. Okay, now we pop this in the pan with about 100 ml of water and start to cook. Right, I've put, you only want just a little bit of water in there. Courgettes and apples are quite watery, so they will produce their own liquid. Just want to make sure that all that flavour will come out of there as well. We're just going to put this on a gentle heat until the courgette and apple go soft and mushy. Okay. Right, now while that's cooking down, I'm going to juice the 2 lemons, and these lemons are quite soft anyway. As I said, they needed juicing up, but what I'm going to do is give them a roll, tip from Jamie Oliver there, loosens up the juice. And I'm just going to squish it with my fingers into the jug. These are very juicy. That's good. There's also lots of pips in these, but I'll strain them out. Right, that's both the lemons done. I've taken the pips out. There's about 100 ml of lemon juice in there. They were quite juicy. And so I'm just going to leave that until the apples and courgettes have softened. Let me just show you how they're going. I've kind of piled them over the ginger and lemon just to make sure they pick up all the flavours. They're still feeling quite solid, so we're not ready yet. Right, now this is quite mushy, as you can see. It did take a long while, and I did actually have to keep adding water so it didn't burn on the bottom. Now what I'm going to do is just move that out of the way. Excuse me. Is give it a mash. Okay, I'm just going to mash that down. Right, that didn't take long. Now I'm going to tell you something weird. This smells of honey. There's no sugar in it yet. There's, as you've seen, just courgette and apple, and then in the muslin we've got ginger and lemon, and yet it smells of honey. Now I'm going to add the sugar. Actually, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to add the lemon juice. And I'm just going to pop it through a strainer because there might be some little bits left. Yeah, look, there's a couple of little bits in there. That's lemon juice and a kilogram of sugar. It's a whole bag going in. My goodness. Right, now this is off the heat, and we are just going to stir this in until the sugar has dissolved. And there we go. So now we are going to pop the heat back on. And this time we want to bring it to a boil. So we shall let that simmer. What I might do is get the masher, and now there's more liquid, just try and mash some more. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. I mean, I don't mind a lumpy jam. So we're just going to let that reach a boil, and then we're going to leave it on a rolling boil for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then I will test it. I'll do the wrinkle test on one of these saucers that I have put in the freezer. Right, now this came to a boil and I've turned the heat down, and as you can see it's just gently bubbling away. This is what we call a rolling boil. As you can see, it's quite runny now that the sugar has dissolved and the lemon juice has gone in. So this will evaporate and give us a nice thick jam. We'll leave this. I'll see how it goes. 20 to 30 minutes, I should think. I shall check it after 20 and see how it's going. I might have completely lost all of the muslin inside of it by then if I keep poking at this. I want to make sure I get all that lovely ginger and lemon out. Right, I shall leave that and we'll come back in a little while. Right, this has been going for about 20 minutes. It's quite thick. Some of it's a little bit runny still, but the rest of it is really thickening up. So what I'm going to do, I've got my plate out of the freezer, and I'm just going to drop a little bit on there and just let it cool down. The reason we put a plate in the freezer is because it will cool the jam down quicker than if we were just to leave it on the side. So that is still going. You can see there's an odd little bubble coming, and I shall take you over to here. I'm just going to see. You see how this is all wrinkling up? Oh, I just licked my finger. This tastes of honey too. Don't know how well that's coming through, but it is wrinkling up. It's what we call the wrinkle test. So that is done. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my hot jars out of the oven and bottle up. Right, I've taken the muslin out, which had the lemon and ginger inside. It was a very sticky job. I got as much as I could off of it and gave it a squeeze out. There's not as much in here as I had hoped. I've got my hot jars out the oven. I've got my wide neck funnel. I'm just going to fill the jars. So hot food going into hot jars. And then we seal them while they're hot. Oh, I don't think I'll get 2 jars out of this. You can still see this here. Yeah, so I'm just going to put the lid on. I've left a little bit of room at the top there. And then this one won't get filled all the way, but this is one that we will use immediately. I told my friend that I was making this today. She said it sounded absolutely disgusting. Well, Jess, if you like honey, you'll like this. Rose has had a try and said it's absolutely delicious. She will learn not to turn her nose up at things. Okay, I'll come back when that's done. There we go. 2 jars of delicious honey flavoured courgette jam. Do let me know if you give it a go. It's very nice. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.